Think about it. Every single day, we're creating just a mind-boggling amount of data. Every social media post, every online purchase, every sensor reading from your phone. It's a constant flood. But how does all that raw, messy information actually become a smart, actionable decision? Well, in this explainer, we are going to unlock the secrets of analytics. And that's really the central question, isn't it? We are swimming, maybe even drowning in a sea of data. But the real value, the hidden treasure, is finding those patterns and insights buried deep beneath the surface. And that is exactly the problem that data analytics was built to solve. Okay, so to get our bearings, it really helps to know the two big players in this game. On one hand, you've got business intelligence, or BI. Think of it like looking in the rearview mirror. It's all about asking what happened, so you can understand where you are right now. But data analytics, that's about looking forward, through the windshield. It asks what might happen, and, even more importantly, what should we do about it? It's all about shaping the future, not just reporting on the past. So how do we actually do that? How do we get from just, a bunch of data to a smart decision? It's not some kind of magic trick. It's a process. And a great way to think about it is like a detective's investigation. A 5-step journey that takes us from meaningless noise to actual, useful knowledge. And this is it. This is our roadmap for that journey. You start by defining the right questions. Then you go out and discover the information, the clues. After that, you've got to clean it all up, analyze it, and finally, communicate what you found. We're going to walk through this blueprint step by step. All right, let's dive right into our investigation. The first part of any mission is, you could argue, the most important one. You gotta set a solid foundation. This first stage is absolutely crucial. You have to define a clear goal. What are you really trying to figure out? Because if you ask the wrong question, the rest of your analysis, no matter how brilliant, is basically worthless. Then, stage 2 is all about information discovery. You're gathering all the clues, accessing every piece of data you can find to build the most complete picture possible. Now for stage 3, cleaning the data. Because let me tell you, raw data is a mess. It's full of duplicates, missing information, and all kinds of different formats. Imagine you're pulling sales data from your website and from your cash registers in the store. They're going to be formatted totally differently. The process to fix this is called ETL, extract, transform, and load. You extract the data from all those sources, you transform it into one clean, uniform format, and then you load it into a central database. This step is what makes sure the data you're analyzing is actually accurate and dependable. Okay, so our data is clean, it's reliable. Now we get to the fun part, stage 4. This is the heart of the investigation, where we open up the toolbox and really start to crack the case. You can think of this analysis process like climbing a ladder. Each rung takes you to a higher level of insight. You start at the bottom with descriptive analytics, which just reports what happened. Then you climb to diagnostic, which digs deeper and asks, okay, but why did it happen? From there, you start looking to the future with predictive analytics, what might happen next. And at the very top, you get a call to action with prescriptive analytics. So what do we need to do? Each step gets you closer to a really powerful decision. And climbing this ladder, well, it opens the door to something really powerful, a technique called data mining. And here's the cool part. This isn't about answering the questions you think you have. It's about finding answers to questions you never even knew to ask. It's about finding completely unexpected relationships in the data. And this is the perfect example. I mean, seriously, who on earth would have thought to ask, hey, is there a connection between diapers and beer? Nobody. But by mining sales data, stores discovered this bizarre but consistent pattern. So the big takeaway here is that data mining can reveal these hidden behaviors that lead to insights you would just never, ever find otherwise. Okay, so far we've been talking about data. But what happens when the amount of data we're dealing with isn't just big, it's astronomical? That's when our case goes global, and we step into the world of big data. So what is big data really? The name's a little misleading because it's not just about having more data. It's about these gigantic, sprawling sets of information. Everything from highly organized sales figures to messy, totally unstructured stuff like videos and social media posts that has the potential to be mined for those hidden patterns and powerful predictions. To really wrap our heads around what makes big data, well, big, experts use this handy framework called the 4 V's. It really helps break down the challenge and, honestly, the opportunity here. Let's walk through them. First up is volume, and the scale here is just hard to even imagine.
We're talking about an enormous quantity of data captured over time. Think about every single tweet ever sent, every sensor reading from every smart device. The implication is huge. You can't just use a spreadsheet for this. You need massive, powerful systems just to store it, let alone analyze it.
Next up, variety. Look, big data isn't all neat and organized in pretty little rows and columns. It's messy. It comes in every form imaginable. You've got your highly structured data in a database, sure, but you also have all this unstructured stuff like emails, audio files, and videos. So the tools you use have to be incredibly flexible to make sense of it all at once. All right, the third V is velocity, and this is all about speed. This data isn't just sitting there, it's pouring in at a dizzying pace, and to be useful, it has to be analyzed in near real time. Processing that fire hose of information requires immense computing power. It's why the cloud is so essential for big data. The insight has a very short shelf life. A stock trading algorithm has to act in microseconds, not hours. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important V of all, veracity. It's all about one thing. Can you trust the data? Because having a massive volume of information is completely useless if you can't rely on it to be accurate. You know the saying, garbage in, garbage out? With big data, it's garbage in, garbage out on a terrifying scale. If your data is wrong, your billion-dollar decision will be too. Okay, so we've defined our questions, we've gathered the clues, we've cleaned them up, we've analyzed the evidence. Now we're at the final and I mean crucial step, presenting the findings. Because an amazing insight is worthless if nobody can understand it. And this is where data visualization becomes our superstar. It's basically the art and science of taking all that complex data and putting it into a visual context. The whole point is to make the patterns, the trends, and the correlations just jump right out at you in a way they never would in a giant spreadsheet. Let's just look at a few quick examples of how powerful this is. On the left, you've got a Pareto diagram. It tells a story of priority, like right away. You can instantly see the biggest factors in a problem. And on the right, a fishbone diagram helps you brainstorm and explore all the possible root causes of that problem. And here are a couple more classics you've probably seen. That scatter plot on the left, it's perfect for asking a simple question. Are these two things related? You can spot a potential correlation in a split second. And the pie chart on the right gives you an instant, simple understanding of the parts of a whole, like which products make up the biggest slice of your sales. So you see, whether it's one simple chart or a whole interactive digital dashboard with all the bells and whistles, the goal is always the same, to bring clarity to complexity. It's about making the data story easy for anyone to understand. So there you have it. That's the journey of analytics, from just raw, messy data to a clear story that can guide huge decisions. It makes you think, with all the data flying around in your world, your data is telling a story. Are you listening?